What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Welcome back for another retro review of Falcon Crest. So listen, we are in season 1, episode 16. We got a little sidetracked the last couple of weeks, but we back. We're gonna get a couple of episodes in the next couple of days. We're gonna give you guys some stuff. This was a very important episode in season 1. Okay, I know I've said that a few times, but I'm telling you, this episode changed the trajectory of the whole show on purpose. Like it was written in. It wasn't an accident. But we know that Angela has been leading Lance down a particular path that he has been resisting. Well, the path, the road, where the rubber met the road in this episode. So we start this episode off with, we see Cole out on a date with Melissa. And he takes her home. And whose car's in the driveway? Lance's. And Cole, y'all know how Cole is. Melissa is this, good time girl. She don't feel like she, needs to settle down with any one person. So she doesn't understand why Lance is acting crazy. Because she's like, Lance, like, come on, stop playing. Like, you already know what this is. I mean, Cole, you already know what this is. And so Cole was like, oh, so you got a date with Lance tonight. That's what's going on. And she was like, listen, you already know how my dad and Angela have been, trying to force me and Lance to, be together. I just got to go in here and just handle this business. And it was a little dinner date or whatever. And, of course, Lance don't want to be there. Melissa doesn't want to be there. But they understand what it is. They understand the obligations that the families have with each other. So later on that evening, her name just left my head just that quick, y'all. Melissa. Good Lord. I literally just said her name. Melissa was talking to her father. And basically her father was like, listen, like if you cut through all the bull, what her daddy was saying was, look, Angela is not going to stop coming. So either we can do this at a point in time when it's most advantageous to us, or it can happen when you are not in the power seat. He said, I already know that if I don't make some sort of concession with Angela before I die, that she's going to be dogging you out. So what we need to do is go ahead and go on and get this taken care of. And she was like, she said, but Dad, like, then I'm going to be in battle with Angela. Like, then Angela, and he said, Melissa, I'm sure that there's something you can do that will give you the advantage over Angela Channing. Now, remember the last episode, we left off with the doctor telling her she was pregnant. And I'm thinking, does the daddy know she's carrying a baby? Does the daddy know that she is with child? Because that's really what he was telling her. Like, listen, at the end of the day, you're going to always have, because she's looking for the next heir. You have that power. Emma ain't having no kids. Well, we don't think Emma having no kids. And Lance's mama, she ain't having no more kids. So Melissa, you're in charge of being the heir apparent. Like you have that. Now, Vicky, who y'all know, I can't stand Vicky. I don't see it for Vicky. I would be so glad when Vicky is the kid who went upstairs to go get some skis and never came back down the steps and we never saw him again. Because I really feel like in later seasons we didn't really see Vicky like that. I'm just not remembering when Vicky actually left. Okay. But either way, we see Vicky and her boyfriend, and basically Vicky is still on this, I want to be with you, I want to be able to be with you, I'm grown, I can do what I want to do. And you all of not even, you still in high school, 17 years old. Well, at least I think in this one they actually had her graduating, because they said something about she just graduated. So she finally graduated from high school and she's turning 18. And so I'm just gonna go and knock Vicky out, because Vicky irritates me and I just can't do this. I can't do it with her. So Maggie and Chase come home and catch Vicky and the boyfriend laid up on the couch, with their clothes all disheveled, and it was clear what they was doing or what they was getting ready to do. And you know, they not stupid. They know that, you know, they've been dating for a while. They already know their daughter a hoe because they know Vicky was, you know, messing with her teacher back in New York. And her mother even said something to her like, listen, are we about to have another situation like we had in New York? And, you know, of course, Vicky was like, no, Mom, no. I'm grown. I'm an adult. You're going to have to respect me. And Maggie was like, girl. Now, what Maggie should have done was knocked in her mouth. She should have lost a couple of teeth. She'd have thought about it. But, of course, Maggie had to handle it the way TV moms have to handle shit. Well, some TV moms, read between the lines, had to handle shit. And trying to be all nice and stuff to her. I said, I don't understand why she had teeth. So then she gonna go to the boyfriend and was like, listen, they had planned to like sneak away. She told her mother she was on her way to a class some trip, and old boy was down from school. Remember, he in college. Honey, they got caught. Okay, the daddy then caught them up in, I guess they was at the little lake house or whatever. Honey, they got caught. So he brings them back to Chase, and of course he gotta, you know, apologize to Chase for basically being laid up with his daughter, and of course Vicky act like she ain't do nothing wrong, talking about, I don't understand what the big deal is. And they were like, because you lied. She was like, but if I had told the truth, would you have let me know, bitch? Because you 17. And no, we're not going to give you permission to just be laid up with your boyfriend. Like, where they do that at? Anyway, child. So finally, she convinces the boyfriend that they should just go off and get married. Okay? And that's what they do. They actually run off to go elope, right? And they actually get the marriage certificate and, you know, all of the above, honey. They do all of the above. But at the end of the day, what ends up happening, they decide not to do it. It was tacky. We're going to wait. We should be ready. Because they first were going to move in together. And then they decided to get married, child. Whatever. I just couldn't do it with them. I just can't. But they ended up not getting married, and they came back home. And, of course, everybody was all happy and loving and smiling and joking and shit. And I was like, y'all just going to forget that she done lied to y'all, talked to y'all like some shit, ran away from home to go marry her boyfriend. Y'all just gonna, okay, we're just gonna move. We just gonna move past that. We're gonna forget that happened. Okay, well, if y'all forgetting, I'm forgetting. Anyway, moving on. Now, Melissa, after her daddy basically told her, listen, either it's gonna be now or it's gonna be later, but you already know how this is about to go. He meets up with Angela, and they pretty much hammer out the situation, right? So Angela goes to Lance, and Lance was like, grandmother, I don't want to marry Melissa. I don't know why you're making me do this. I don't want to marry her. And then basically what ends up happening is, Lance says, well, if I ask her and she says no, am I off the hook? She was like, sure. That should have been his first clue, that she already knew what the answer was going to be. As much as you've been pushing this whole situation, that should have been your first clue that the situation was what it was. But anyway, of course, he goes to ask Melissa to marry him. And of course, Melissa says yes, because again, she already know what the plan is. She had met with her doctor, and her doctor told her, like, listen, okay, we know you're pregnant. Now, you need to go on and make a decision before it's too late to make a decision. Because I think the doctor just assumed that Melissa was going to have the abortion. And Melissa was like, I already made my decision. I'm going to keep my baby. And the doctor made this assumption that, I mean, I know that, you know, the doctor had already called Melissa a hoe when she asked her, do you know who the daddy is? I get that part. But basically, she going to say to Melissa, well, you know it's hard raising a child by yourself. Why are you assuming she don't have no man? Like, I don't understand why you are making the assumption that, girl, the doctor would have had to get. I would think I would have probably had to slap the damn doctor. So then, Melissa was like, oh, I'm not going to have to. Yeah, because Melissa already knew that she was going to marry Lance. And, you know, how that was going to roll. We'll get to that. So, I'm sorry. Let me get back. So, back down to Falcon Crest. Angela, of course, is giddy. And she is like, let's get this. We got to get this wedding done as soon as possible. I'm ready to combine. Because, you know, she really could care less about, you know, Lance. It's about combining the assets. And she want to go ahead and get that done as soon as possible, honey. So they ready to plan this wedding. And, of course, you know, Angela's mom is like, you know, Lance's mom is like, Lance, I'm so sorry. This is not what I wanted for you. You know, I ain't have enough of a backbone to get the hell out of here. But I thought you was going to get up out of here. Like, I don't understand why what is the situation? Like, why are you still dealing with my grandmother? You know she crazy. Well, my mother, because you know she a little, you know she crazy. But of course, Lance think he got it all figured out. He think that he can still get out of it. So Melissa goes to tell Cole what the deal is, honey. And of course, Melissa is crazy. I don't know what reaction she thought she was going to get from Cole. But of course, Cole reacted the way any man will react, that the woman he loves, who thought loved him, tells him that he about to marry, not only marry somebody, but marry his enemy. Like, him and Lance don't rock like that. And Melissa was like, I don't understand what the problem is. Like, that doesn't mean that me and you can't still be together. And Cole was like, what? What kind of shit? Are you crazy? And then, of course, Cole runs where? Straight down to Falcon Crest to confront Lance. What did you think you was going to get out of that conversation, Cole? What did you think Lance was going to say to you? And, of course, Lance just let Cole be angry and, you know, blow off some steam. Now, while that's going on, Lance's mom then called up to Maggie and Chase and said, you know, Julia, I couldn't remember that, and is announcing the fact that that Lance and Melissa are getting married. And I'm thinking to myself, as small as y'all keep making out Falcon Crest, you mean to tell me that Julia didn't know that Cole was dating Melissa? Girl, bye. And then even Maggie and Lance were like, I think they're dating, right? You know that's who your son been sleeping with for the last however many months. You know that. Stop playing. Stop playing. Now, Maggie is cool with it because Maggie said, I ain't never really rocked with Melissa like that anyway. AKA, I always thought she was a hoe. And I ain't never want my son messing with her anyway. And of course, you know, Chase is the daddy. You know how Chase, men are oblivious to these kind of things, child. So, Lance has one final, hurrah where he thinks he can convince Melissa that this is not a good idea, because again, I don't think Lance understands that Melissa is just as, sold into this whole situation, because again, she's pregnant and trying to figure out the best situation for her baby, for her daddy situation. So, I'm sorry. So, he gonna set Melissa up. He gonna call her to come down to the little hotel room where he's in bed with another woman. So, I don't know what, again, everybody in this episode is underestimating everybody else. What did you think Melissa was gonna do? Melissa don't love you, and Melissa know you don't love her. So, what did you think she was gonna get angry about? Like, he was like, well, I just thought you would need to know what kind of husband I'm gonna be. Basically saying I'm gonna be a hoe. I'm gonna be sleeping around with other women. Like, I have no intention of being, faithful to you. So you might as well just go ahead and know that now. And Melissa was like, all right, bro. Because remember, Melissa had already told Cole, this don't mean we gotta stop seeing each other. So she feel the same way you feel. Honey, the feeling is mutual. She ain't rocking with you the same way you ain't rocking with her. The feeling is mutual. Okay? Melissa done met Cole down to the restaurant so they could have one last dinner, and she done invited Cole to the wedding. Talking about, I want you to come. Girl, are you crazy? What is wrong with you, Melissa? Melissa, what is wrong with you? How you gonna invite the man that you still sleeping with to the wedding of the man that, girl, bye. Meanwhile, Emma just decided that she want to be a psychiatrist, and she gonna go to town and open herself an office, honey, because in her mind, it is just that easy. She done had one appointment with the daggone psychiatrist, and she decided that is her life's calling. Which, maybe she wouldn't make a bad psychologist, but you gotta go to work. You gotta go to school first, boo. You gotta go to school first, Emma. And Lord, the way they treat you, I don't even know if your ass even graduated from high school at this point. Meanwhile, Angela then got to Emma's doctor, and they got her on some daggone sedatives, thinking that, I guess they figure if they keep her sedated long enough, she'll forget what she knows or something. But of course, Emma being Emma, she not taking the medicine. She not stupid. She told Angela, they make me sleepy. Like, I know what you're trying to do. You're not slick. Okay? So, Maggie and Chase went to go visit Angela's husband, ex-husband in the hospital. Honey, he's still in the hospital from his heart attack, child. I guess back then they just kept you in the hospital just indefinitely, because nowadays they gave him 2 aspirin and sent his ass home. Listen, and he told Chase, he said, Chase, listen, I understand how you feel about your dad, and I understand that you feel some kind of way about that situation, but please, I'm really going to need you to stop pushing. I need you to leave it alone and stop pushing that situation. And of course, you know, Chase is like, listen, I just need to have a conversation with Emma alone. Like, I feel like Emma knows something, and I feel like she's ready to tell me. I just got to get her alone. And he was like, please don't force Emma. Like, you know she's fragile. AKA, she know the truth, and, you know, I don't want her to tell you, because that could be a whole other situation. And Chase didn't promise yes or no. You know, Chase was like, you know, you get well. Then Lance goes down there to visit his grandfather. His grandfather told him this. He said, listen, I really thought you was going to avoid getting caught up in Angela's trap. I heard you about to get married to Melissa. And he told her point blank, he said, you know, Angela only respects people who show her strength. This is not going to garner you any points. She's going to get what she wants, but she's not going to gain any respect for you, because in her mind, you were weak. You gave in to her. You gave her what she wanted. It's almost that catch-22, like, I'm demanding that you do it, but I really want you to fight me on it. Or find another way to do it. Like, if he had been able to find another way to make this whole merger happen, she wouldn't have made him marry her. She just wanted the vineyard. And in her mind, that was the quickest way to make it happen. Honey, Lance gonna take Melissa out on a date, child, and take her down to the spring house. That spring house has seen more action than a whole house in Texas, okay? I mean, child. And he tries to really get him a piece. Now, remind you, Melissa and Cole been hanging out at the spring house for months, getting it in front of the fireplace and stuff. So in her mind, like, this is just a place that's full of memories of her with Cole, who she really want to be with anyway. And Lance is really trying to push up on her, like, make her have sex. I mean, we about to be married. Like, it's going to happen anyway. And Melissa was like, boy, you're crazy. Like, you really are crazy if you think that automatically, like, one automatically equals the other. Like, you're really crazy if you think that us getting married equals us having sex. Like, that's not gonna happen. That's not how this is gonna work, child. So anyway, honey, the wedding goes down, and it's about what you would expect. Like I said, Julia has one last conversation with Lance, basically saying, listen, I'm sorry that this is how things turned out. Like, I really, really did want better for you. And then after she had this whole heart-to-heart with him, then she gonna say, you don't blame me for this, do you? I said, so were you really trying to have this conversation with him because you was concerned, or did you just not want him to get mad at you? Like, Julia, there's something about Julia that at a certain point, it just always ends up being about her child. Anyway, so like I said, we are at the wedding. Listen, Angela had this badass little caftan, this purple, like, caftan, like, grand dame outfit. Even for the early 1980s, that thing was bad, okay? Like, I could definitely see a grandmother of the bride wearing that today. It was beautiful. And it was a nice, like I said, little caftan thing she had working. And, honey, she was holding court, you know, doing what she was doing. Because, again, for her, this is a business acquisition. She could care less about Lance getting married. Like, she is not there in the capacity of grandmother of the bride in a traditional sense. She is there to make sure that the ink dries in the proper places, okay? So they go through the whole wedding, you know. Honey, Conan showed up, and Melissa sees him, and he sees her, and it's all real dramatic. But, of course, he don't stop the wedding. You know, he runs in, and he runs out just as fast. You know, he don't stop the wedding or anything. And, baby, we get to the end where they're cutting the cake, and they're entertaining their guests. And Lance says something to her. What does he say to her? He says something to her, and she said, you better be nice to me. Because I'm something about her being with child. And he was like, yeah, right. Because, of course, he know they ain't never even had sex. So, he was like, whatever, you ain't pregnant. She was like, oh, but I am. And as of 20 minutes ago, you the daddy. because you my husband now. So, because he, oh, that's what he said. He said he's trying to get it annulled as fast as possible. And she was like, how you going to get it annulled when I'm pregnant? He was like, stop playing. She was like, but I'm not. Honey, if you were a Falcon Crest watcher like I was a Falcon Crest watcher, this situation between Cole, Lance, and Melissa is just getting started, honey. This whole three-way love triangle situation is epic. Okay? Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.